Part 2 of me running for U.S. Congress District 7 of Maryland against Elijah Cummings. Besides, I found out, I think his office is a racist group. Because I asked, he offered to help since 2010 when I told him my wife had cancer. He said, anything I need to fight VA or anything else for treatment or to fight Social Security or Medicare, just call him, he'd jump right in on it. I called him and he diddle-dallied around saying his people were going to jump right on it. Months later they said, well, they redistricted me and I'm now in Ruppensberger, so they're not going to help me. Is it because I'm a Republican? Or is he just racist? I've been told he's racist. If a black person calls, they jump right on it. If a white person calls, they kind of diddle-dally around unless he sounds really left-wing, and then they jump on it. But if he doesn't sound left-wing, he sounds center or conservative, they ignore him. So is it racist or just politically motivated? Now I want to talk to you about our kids and God. The Constitution says the government can make no laws promoting any religion. It did not say ban religion out of everything. As long as every religion is represented in our schools, why don't they have Hanukkah? Why don't they have Christmas trees? Why don't they let the Muslims worship? They all have holidays about the same time. Let them all worship to show that there is a God up there. No matter what your name is or what your religion is, there is one God up there. We all call it different, we all practice a little different, but there's one God up there that I believe. To take them out of school, no prayer. We're not even allowed to say the Pledge of Allegiance in some of these counties across our country because it says under God. And for our school children, these liberals got it all wrong. How are kids going to learn anything? They're not allowed to compete for points. They're not allowed to have physical activity in elementary school. My God, they might get hurt physically. And emotionally, you're not allowed to have kickball or any other thing where people can score points. Everybody is equal. You know, grades, same thing. Nobody is equal in America, in the world. We all have good points and bad points in our DNA. I was smart as hell in math as a kid. I outdid the class by 3 years in math, but I couldn't talk because my tongue couldn't go off the floor of my mouth. And nobody found it until 6th grade. So I never learned how to read, write, and speak real good. After they clipped it back an inch underneath my tongue so it could go up to the roof of my mouth to make the different sounds. But I was still smart in math, and I learned that in school. Because if we don't challenge our kids to learn, how can they know what they're good at and what they're bad at? That's real life. Real life when you grow up. You're going to get fired from a job. You're going to get laid off. You're going to have shit happen to you. Just like a lot of bumper stickers used to say on the back of a car, shit happens. And you got to be prepared for it as you're growing up. Yeah, that Johnny down there is 10 times better at basketball than me. Why? He's 2 foot taller. That makes a big difference. But I'm good at wrestling because I'm short and fast, and I won the county championship. I didn't, but I talked my son into wrestling instead of sitting on the football bench, and he came in 2nd and 3rd place in the county and came in 2nd and 3rd in a lot of state tournaments around the state. He was dynamite at wrestling, but they sat him on the bench because he was so small in football. Everybody was twice his weight. We got to take calculators, computers, all these handheld gadgets away from our kids. until maybe high school. They can use them at home, but they're not good in school. You know why the Asian kids are so much smarter than us? Because their parents can't afford pencils and papers. They have a little chalkboard to rewrite everything, to learn math, algebra, trigonometry, how to do cursive writing in their own language, etc., etc. And so they learn to memorize it instead of writing it on this little chalkboard. We don't even, I go to colleges at candidate forums and I ask what 2 plus 2 minus 1 times 2 divided by 3. And sometimes one person will raise their hand and says, I know. And the rest of them, I got my calculator up on my iPhone now. Can you repeat that? They can't count change. Somebody gives them a 20 and it was $14.95. You take a nickel to make it 15 and then you take a 5 to make it to 20. They don't know how to count up and change. They're not teaching spelling anymore because there's spelling check, grammar check, punctuation check, and everything else you can imagine on the computer. And why type a letter? You can talk to your computer and it'll type a letter for you. Why teach how to write cursive? We are dumbing down our kids so terrible in our school system, and we're making them all atheists. And we're brainwashing them with lies of our history. Bring back the 3 R's. Take away this damn technology. Make them use their brain. Make them compete so they know what places they're strong and what places they're weak. And if they don't like where they're weak, then it gives them incentive to get better in that weakness area. Or their parents will ask them to get better in their weakness area. I'm an unusual candidate. Do away with technology? People can't even talk to each other anymore. They'd rather text even though they're sitting next to each other. How dumb have we got with this technology? Maybe China will put that EM wave off over top of us one of these days with one of their satellites and destroy all this technology, and then America would not know what to do except as old people. Vote for Ray Bly for U.S. Congress District 7. Thank you.